Hi, I'm Louise Fletcher, abstract artist, and today I want to talk to you about what makes a good abstract painting. So often I get this question from artists. I want to move towards abstraction, but the results are always disappointing. What can I do? What am I doing wrong? Drop a comment below if this makes sense to you. Just say yes. And I get it because I've been there. But when you think about it, it's crazy to imagine that we can just decide we want to paint abstract paintings and then do it amazingly well right from scratch. Painting abstracts is difficult. There are lots of people who think it's easy because it's just daubs, right? You just throw some paint at a canvas or a board and that's it, it's done. There are lots of videos on YouTube that will tell you how to make a quick and easy abstract painting, but they are not good abstract paintings. There is nothing quick and easy about doing this properly. It is, however, incredibly rewarding if you're willing to do the work and to understand what's needed. It's maybe the most rewarding thing I've ever done. It's certainly the most rewarding thing I've ever done in my art. And let me tell you, I find it much easier to paint some oranges or a person's face than I do to paint an abstract painting. If I'm painting some oranges, then I have the oranges there in front of me. I know what they're supposed to look like. I know what the end result's going to be. When I am painting abstract, everything's coming from inside here. I have to be the originator of the idea. I have to pull that out of myself and I have to make it work as an image. Now, I do not claim to be an expert and there are lots of opinions about what makes good abstract painting, but I want to tell you how I approach it. I think these two things have to be in place for a good abstract painting. Number one, the artist knows herself and knows what matters to her. She has something to say. She has a point of view. Number two, the artist understands the formal aspects of art making. Design and colour are just as important in abstract work as they are in representational work. So in a good abstract painting, the artist understands how colour works, how design works, the importance of value contrasts. And she knows how to manipulate those things to convey her point of view, what she wants to say. And what about that point of view? Am I saying that all abstract paintings begin with an intention, a specific intention? No. There are wonderful abstract painters who work entirely intuitively. What I am saying is that in a good abstract painting, the artist knows by the time she finishes the painting, she knows what she wants you to feel or see or notice or think. Otherwise, it's just daubs of paint. It really is just daubs of paint, unless some thought and decision making has gone in at some point. So for some people, they begin with an intention. They want to create a certain feeling, and then they work with the paint to do that. For others, they begin with no intention, and they find their intention as they go. The artist always has something to say, and that something could be as simple as, look how beautiful the colour blue is. It doesn't have to be a great, profound statement, but it has to be something. If you as the artist don't have a point of view, then I as the viewer don't know what you want me to feel or think or experience when I look at your painting. And this is why I think so many people struggle when they move towards abstraction. They simply either haven't taken the time to work out their point of view or they haven't developed the understanding of colour and value and composition that's required to make a strong painting. I was in this same place a few years ago. I made some appalling paintings and I didn't understand why they didn't work. And it's extremely frustrating. You try, you look at other people's work, you think, right, I want to do something that feels like that. You go, you get your colours out, you get your brushes out, you get your tools out, you try. It doesn't look like that. It just looks like a muddy mess. And the reason, in my case, that it used to look like a muddy mess is both those things. I hadn't worked out what I was trying to say. I knew I wanted to paint landscape, but I didn't know why. And I hadn't gained enough skill in the formal principles of art making to know how to do what I wanted. So even if I had worked out my point of view, I wouldn't have had the tools I needed. Everything changed for me when I learned those tools and learned how to think about what I wanted to say. So what I learned when I really focused on what the point of my work was supposed to be was that Yes, I wanted it to be about landscape, but it wasn't just about the way it looked, which I thought was what I loved. I live in North Yorkshire. It's rugged, it's moorland, it's sweeping valleys. It's very, very beautiful, and I thought that's what I loved. But it's digging deeper, I found out it's so much more than that. It's the history of the landscape. It's my history within the landscape. This is a place that I spent all my happiest times in childhood. It's the feelings that I have when I'm in that landscape. Yes, it's the feeling of the wind and seeing the hills and looking at the light and feeling the storms, but it's not just that. It's what that means to me in terms of my connection with it. It's all of the different layered memories that come back to me with that experience, these textures, these sounds, these sights. And it took me quite a while to dig down to realize that's why I want to paint this landscape. The landscape is a metaphor for belonging and connection for me. I want to paint my feeling of belonging, my feeling of joy, my feeling of connection. And I want that to come into my work. There are days when the work goes well. There are days when it doesn't. And I feel like I'm walking on a tightrope with no safety net. And when I feel like that, that's when I return to my 2 core questions that I started this video with. What am I trying to say? And am I using design and color and contrast in order to say that? The end result should not look like a moorland, but it should feel like I feel when I'm in one. And if I do that well, someone else, when they look at it, will have that same connection. Lots of people won't, and this is the thing about abstract painting. You cannot be swayed by the opinions of friends and family, because lots of them will say, well, what's it supposed to be? You cannot explain to someone who can't feel it. That's a pointless exercise. But somebody will feel it when they look at your painting. They will get that same sensation. But it's that emotional resonance that sells the work. So that's my answer to what makes a good abstract painting. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, please hit the subscribe button and look for the little bell next to it after you've pressed it. Hit that too. That will alert you whenever I post a new video. And thanks so much for watching. I will see you again soon.